Okay. For everybody out there, I just need you to answer me one question. What the hell did we just watch? The entire landscape of NXT just changed in one show.
All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
We have the fallout from NXT Battleground, which was one of the craziest pay-per-views or PLEs, I'm sorry, that NXT has put on since Shawn Michaels has taken over the brand. However, you did not expect for NXT, the show tonight, to come out and to be what it was. And I literally am sitting here thinking to myself, what the hell did we just watch? Like, this is crazy. 2 title changes tonight. A lot of parading around, a lot of different things. Some new storylines dropped, and we're here to cover it all on Who's Next in NXT. I'm your host, Virgil. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the We Book It Network, where we cover all wrestling. And appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Now, with that being said, NXT opened up with a video package recapping what happened at Battleground before Ricky Saints made his way to the ring to defend the North American Championship against none other than All Ego, Ethan Page. They didn't wait for the official introductions and began brawling before the bell. Security pulled them apart as the crowd chanted, "Let them fight." The announcer said the match would begin immediately, and once the bell rang, security cleared out and they started throwing hands again. After a few minutes, security had to get involved again when they tried to use weapons. Ava came out and said they wanted a clear-cut winner in this match. The announcer said it wasn't necessarily a no DQ match, but the referee was given more discretion, so he's going to let them fight, basically. We returned from the break to see them both go flying over the announce table as they continued to brawl. Once again, security got involved. All Ego dropped Saints across a chair and with a neck breaker, and the refs spent a long time checking on them. WWE did everything it could in this to make this match feel like it was about more than just the title. And for what it's worth, it worked. This felt like a bitter rivalry that could only end with one man going to the hospital. Saints managed to kick out of All Ego's edge, but Page still beat him in the end to become the new North American champion. Guys, let me tell you something. To kick off NXT tonight, this was a hell of a match, a hell of a way to do it. I mean, it was just chaos, complete chaos. And you really felt like there was a bitter rivalry between these two individuals, like they really hated each other. And for me, that's when the magic happens in wrestling. When you can believe that suspended disbelief, what we talk about all the time in wrestling, when you can really believe that two people really do not like each other, cannot stand each other, hate each other, that is when the magic really happens. And tonight we saw magic. Page's music is both awful and somehow perfect at the same time. For once, WWE actually listened to the crowd and let them fight. Like I said, it was just a great match. The next up, we have Mike Santana versus Tavion Heights. TNA's Mike Santana made his in-ring debut for WWE this week when he took on Tavion Heights. And Santana made his way through the crowd and looked hyped up as he came through. They locked up and fought for control. Heights used his amateur background to score a couple of takedowns, but Santana used his veteran experience to keep up with them. This was a highly physical and competitive match. Both of these guys are versatile athletes who have as much agility as they do power, so they found their groove very quickly. Heights put a good fight up, but Santana was able to get the win with the spinning clothesline, which that spinning clothesline is filthy. Again, like I said, Tavion Heights is just getting started. Santana is a seasoned veteran, and he needed to win this match. Santana showed Heights respect after the match, but guess what? Charlie Dempsey looked furious at the fact that he lost the match and the fact that he was, baby facing it up. Santana, I never thought I would see him in a WWE ring, but it's great to have him there. Santana was rolling around the ring and moving quickly, but it may have been too quick. He tried a sunset flip and ended up tripping on the landing. Like I said, it was just really good. Next up, we move to Let's Talk About It. Mr. TNA himself. That's right, baby. Trick Williams came out after the break to the crowd train and whooped that trick as he celebrated winning the the TNA World title from Joe Hendry. He turned on the crowd a bit and said since NXT didn't appreciate him, he was going to go to TNA. Santana came out and gave him props, but he said Trick is not this champion. He said Williams made a bad impression by trying to tear down TNA in his promo. He called Trick a pretender. Ooh. Santino Marella appeared and told Williams he already had his first title defense set up against Santana. This was a pretty standard promo segment to set up a title match. Nothing surprising was said, but it was fine for what it was. Williams was trying to be heel, but it felt forced at first. But he is going to be good at this role just like he was before. We move on from there to Tatum Paxley versus Miss Parker, Jada Parker. After a backstage segment last week, Jada Parker ended up in a match against Tatum Paxley, who has been more emotional than usual since Gigi Dolan was released and Shotzi went off the radar. Parker backed her to the corner, but Paxley quickly fought back and got aggressive. Parker had the power advantage and used it whenever she could. This was a competitive back-and-forth match. Parker used one of Paxley's dolls to distract her so she could hit her with the finisher for the win. But Tia Hale attacked Parker as soon as the match was over. There wasn't much to this match, but it had good energy, and Parker looked tough, which is what they're trying to do. Valkyra and Lola Vice appeared to have formed some type of alliance during a backstage segment with Ava. Having Paxley carry around dolls to make look like the released superstars is creepy as hell. Those dolls scare the hell out of me. I hate dolls. Next up, we have Dante Chen versus Jasper Troy. The winner of LFG Season 1, Jasper Troy, made his official NXT debut going up against Dante Chen. Troy made an impact when he attacked Obafemi recently, and he was looking to prove him he deserved to go after a champion by dominating his first opponent. This match only lasted a few minutes and saw Troy control the pace 90% of the time. Chen made a brief comeback, but Troy eventually ran him over with a whole black hole slam for the win. Femi's music hit, and he appeared in the crowd's nest. He said Troy's 5 seconds of fame are over, so they will obviously have a match soon. So, like I said, he'll probably get a match for the NXT Championship, and he probably will lose because there's no way they're taking that title off Obafemi. Corey Graves didn't do Chen any favor with commentary by saying he doesn't have what it takes to make it good. Chen did a good job of selling for Troy. Next up, your main event. That's right, a shocker of a main event. Stephanie Valkyr versus Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's Championship. So Paige came out to celebrate winning the NA title, but he was interrupted by Javon Evans and Laredo Kid from AAA. Ray Phoenix also showed up, so it looks like the Worlds Collide will feature a fatal 4-way for the North American Championship, and that match is going to kill. I do think that Paige will probably retain because him and Ricky Starks got to go at it again. We got to see that. After a break, Jayne and Valkyr came out for the main event women's title match. Valkyr rushed to the ring, and Jayne attacked her as soon as she rolled in. So the ref skipped the intros and called for the bell. I kind of like that. I mean, like I said, when people have issues, there's no reason why you need to come out and do the standard, okay, well, let's do this person's interest. Let's do this person's interest and stuff like that. Like if it's really on site, it really needs to be on site. And this is a great adjustment by Shawn Michaels and the NXT crew to make sure that they do this so that the people can, really feel like this match matters. Like the way that Ricky Saints and Ethan Page fought at the beginning, and you're ending with the same thing. Like it's on site. Like we're tired of dealing with you. We got to fight. So. A couple of women from AAA showed up, but Vice came out to fight them off. The distraction almost led to Jayne getting the win, but the champ kicked out and hit a springboard crossbody. Other than the interference, this was a solid match. Jayne is someone who has developed into the kind of talent you can work with anyone, and Valkyr continued to prove why she belongs at the top of the mountain. Jayne got into an argument with Fallon Henley at ringside, but it didn't matter because she still helped Jayne score a surprising win to become the new NXT Women's Champion. That's right, guys. That's right. We have a new Women's NXT Champion, and that is Jacy Jayne defeating Stephanie Valkyr. Obviously, like I said, a lot of interference, a lot of muckiness in this match. You could see some AAA alliances formed here to help Stephanie Valkyr. We'll have to see what happens with that. But Laredo Kid made a few appearances for AEW and even worked a match in WWE a long time ago without a mask. It was shocking to see that Jayne has not been called up to the main roster. She has been in NXT for a long time and is good enough to hang with the Raw and women's rosters. It was cool to see Jayne, though, win the NXT Women's Championship, and she will be the new foe to Stephanie Valkyr. But again, like I told you guys last week, I don't expect Stephanie Valkyr to be in NXT much longer because they really are building her up. She is going to go on a hell of a run, and she probably will end up being on SmackDown and winning that United States Women's Championship. So, like I said, just, it was just shocking, like I said, to have this NXT be what it was. Nobody thought that you were going to see 2 title changes on the same show, but yet and still, here we are. And again, it was a great episode of NXT. But hey, I need to know from you guys, what do you think about this episode of NXT? Did you enjoy it? If you did, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. Let me know your favorite thoughts of this episode of NXT. Once again, it's your boy Virgil. Thank you so much for watching Who's Next with NXT. Make sure you guys tune in next time. Peace.